The San Diegans have already started to vote in the March primary, and there's a proposition on that ballot that asks voters to decide on a multi-billion-dollar bond.
You might be wondering what exactly is a bond and who pays for it. Working for you, CBS 8's Steve Price breaks it all down with help from a local political science professor. Steve?
We hear the word bonds a lot in elections. In fact, you're going to find one on the current ballot for our state primary. But what is that and why do we need them? I'm going to answer those questions not to convince you how to vote, but to give you the information you need to make an informed decision. Simply put, bonds are like a mortgage on a house. Government agencies borrow a specific amount of money, which then must be repaid over time.
The idea with bonds is that they're investments that will help the state grow and develop.
Bonds pay for things like roads, educational infrastructure, and water projects.
Give or take a few percentage points, about 5% of our budget every year goes to bonds.
Working for you, let's take a closer look at Prop 1 in the March primary. It would have the state borrow and spend $6.4 billion. $2 billion of that is aimed at homelessness. That'll go into a state program that uses existing hotels and motels to house people. It also builds some new housing units. The bigger slice would pay for new facilities for mental health and addiction treatment. $6.4 billion of bonds cost billions of dollars to borrow. This is the government's version of taking out a 30-year mortgage. The payments plus interest, about $310 million a year, according to the state's analyst. How do we pay for it? Prop 1 has no new taxes. In fact, it has no plan at all to pay these bonds. It would come out of the state's regular budget.
Prop 1 works exactly like nearly every bond in California does. It says this won't raise your taxes specifically. It'll just add to the overall debt level that the state has to pay.
Since Proposition 1 is a statewide vote, it only needs a simple majority to pass. Local bonds have a higher threshold depending on how the money will be used, ranging from 55% up to a 2/3 vote. Those local bonds will most likely show up on your property tax bill. In fact, you're probably paying on dozens of them right now.
Californians are generally quite open to passing bonds through the proposition process, and about 2/3 of the bonds that come up before voters on their ballot are supported.
By the way, several bond-related measures are already moving forward to be placed on the November ballot. Working for you, Steve Price, CBS 8.
Always good to have a refresher. Thanks, Steve. Here at CBS 8, we want to help solve problems that are affecting you. If there's something you'd like us to look into, email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com.